Have you ever thought about this? If I had a time machine and I could go back, I would have done or I would do things differently. It could save me years, it could save me days, it could save me weeks or months from our life. I would have done things differently. Well, today I'm my guest and I are going to bring you the time machine, and we are going to talk about what are 10 things we wish somebody told us 10 years ago, and we wish we would have had access to as information when we started our career. This is definitely going to benefit you if you are looking for a time machine. But before we do that, and I bring my guest, let's see. And hello, good evening, everyone. I am super delighted for this 111. Isn't it telling, my guest Hamad Siddiq, isn't it telling 111 episode? Today we are celebrating at the Quantum Leadership Hacks. I'm your host, Dr. Nabila Diab, and I'm super delighted for this session. This is a session that is going to be absolutely full of nuggets and takeaways. We are going to discuss 10 things we wish, my guest and I, we wish somebody told us 10 years ago or when we started our career, and that would have saved us a lot of efforts, unnecessary tournure, and so on and so forth. Let me bring, without any further ado, my guest, Mr. Hamad Siddiqui, business advisor, digital solopreneur, LinkedIn consultant, and career mentor, executive director of Canada Startup Association. I'm looking at the LinkedIn profile, and oh man, I mean, this is really, if you have time, like just go check him out. Absolutely impeccable and sterling career. That's my guest, Hamad Sadiqi. Today we are discussing 10 things himself and I wish that somebody told us when we started our career. Prepare pen and paper and be ready to take those takeaways and those notes. You will be amazed at how much you can take. Mr. Hamid, come on in on the call and say hi.
Hello, Dr. Nabila. Thank you very much for inviting me. I think this is our second podcast, my second podcast with you. I remember we had one last year, which went very well, and I'm really delighted to be part of your podcast again today. 111th podcast. My God, you have been really working hard.
And those we've been doing since we started counting. I don't remember. I mean, during COVID and so on, we didn't count, so we were
Yeah,
just doing stuff.
yeah.
So yes, it's telling, right? 111.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
believe these
absolutely. So
things.
that's probably my lucky number today as well.
Oh yeah,
111.
oh
Yep.
yes, it is.
Awesome.
Well, thank you indeed for coming in and without hesitation jumping in and being my guest. To be honest, this kind of topic you need to discuss it with somebody who's got. I mean, age is a factor in here. You can discuss it with a young person, so somebody who's got experience, who's got those years and then there you want to discuss these things because these learning they come only after many trying and experimenting and everything. Without any further ado, we're going to discuss those 10 things that anybody who is in a career, so if you are a young lady in middle management, you are thinking, oh my god, what do I do now, which direction do I take, there is this opportunity, there is this one, there is this path, there is the other one, and I don't know how to make my way into the next level up. Today, Hamed and I are going to share with you 10 things, 10 basic things that really will bring clarity to your mind and help you start becoming that crack shot of a decision maker when it comes to these things. Because you will learn these things with time, but here we are going to give them to you readily on a golden plate. Hamed, help me with that first thing you wish somebody told you when you were starting your career.
No, thank you very much. See, I've been in my career for almost 40 years, I would say, right? 38 years, which is quite a long time, right? So when I was graduating, I did not know that my education is insufficient for me to help grow myself in my career. There are other things, skills that are required, knowledge, emotional intelligence, ability to communicate. All that was usually is not part of our curriculum, right? We study something, and we try to find a job which is relevant to our studies. So that's one thing that I learned when I went into my working career is okay. You have studied something, Ahmad. I studied economics. You understand a little bit of economics, but once you are on your table at your table, and you're trying to solve a solution, there are other things that are required. It's not only your knowledge. There are other pieces of puzzle that needs to come together to help you solve that problem. And those pieces were like, do
I
you
love
do you
it.
communicate? I mean, are you able to learn something on your own and stuff like that? Yeah,
Absolutely. And to be honest, I mean, with my long, background in education, I think the education system is somehow a little bit, played a role in this idea that okay, so you get this information, you get this knowledge, and there you have a BA in economics or an MA in this or a PhD in this. Now you go and sit in an office or sit at university and so on, and then we think that it's about information. It's not about information. So in addition to your I almost cried the day I I learned after 5 years of hard work and traveling and leaving my kids behind and so on, that my PhD, that actually even a PhD expires. And if you do not continue learning, if you do not continue upgrading, especially those, I don't like to call them soft skills because there's nothing soft about them, but I call them the success skills. Those success skills, they don't teach us at school. So it's just your degree, and then you go and do stuff with it. So I really 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 like this idea. So if anything we are leaving with you is yet that your degree or your degrees, however many you have, or your certificates, they're not sufficient. There's just so much they can carry you to, there is a point where you will need, and we advise that you start from now, stacking up and adding and improving those skills. Would you agree, Hamid?
absolutely. I mean, for instance, you are a leadership coach. I think leadership is a skill which is usually not taught at schools, right? At universities. But leadership is something that drives our career. Like if you cannot lead something, that you will never be a leader. You will always be a follower. And if you want to grow, we have to become a leader somehow. And you know, I personally feel that universities, and this is for everyone that is not in favor of going to an education institution. I mean, a lot of people who are saying that don't take degrees, do something else, and you will still make money. But I personally feel like, I did my master's in economics, you did your PhD. I think the best thing your university can help you with, actually, it teaches you how to learn and how to learn quickly. So your ability to learn, your ability to articulate and think improves when you're studying something. And honestly speaking, I, I mean, money is very important, like in this economic world. But there are other things that are also important. So those who are short-sighted, just focusing on money, they will still make money, and maybe somebody who's out of graduate university or PhD or whatever may not be able to make that much of money, but the level of satisfaction will be very different because, I mean, if I want to learn something, I can very quickly learn because I've been learning in my school, right? I've been trained to learn. Whereas those who start, they struggle more before they start helping others. So I think university degree is very, very important. And I always tell those people who particularly in the West, I live in Canada, in North America, particularly, people say, don't go to universities, there are scams and stuff. The point is, will you ever go to a doctor that is qualified, quote unquote, using YouTube videos, right? You will never go to a doctor, right? If I've got a degree in medicine, but I qualified from YouTube University. You will never go to the doctor. You will never hire a lawyer who doesn't have a formal law degree, right? So
Hmm.
just think on those lines. You could do bits and pieces, marketing stuff, social media, but anything. Oh, you will never engage an engineer to build your home if that engineer is not qualified civil engineer, right?
Yeah.
University is something that you cannot ignore. So focus on your studies, but go a little bit beyond because a lot of people. I think that's my second point here. A lot of us only focus on our studies, and we do not focus on anything extra that really goes well your studies. And something that I use always, and I say your knowledge beyond textbook. So textbook, yes. Marketing, yes. So if you have studied Flip Kotler, fantastic. But also, have you read Seth Godin? Because he's also a marketing guru. But Seth's books are not taught at universities. Right? Seth has written 14, 15 books, his own experience. Like my book is my experience, right? So combine those things that Flip Kotler teaches as principles of marketing, and mix it up or blend it, or create a fusion of that with the knowledge which is beyond textbook, and then you will see a real impact. So this is something that I did not know. I only focused on textbooks, but as soon as
Right.
I started realizing that there is knowledge beyond textbook available as well, which actually can enhance my capabilities to deliver more, better, faster, um, I started reading books, which
Right.
usually we
Right.
don't, right?
Especially Hamed. For example, so I guess what we are talking about is how to widen your horizons beyond what the university, beyond what formal education gives you, which is textbooks and learning and everything. So, but there is a whole other, area where there are lots of books that are going to be as beneficial for and as impactful on your career as the textbooks, the specialty specific textbooks themselves. Hamed, for example, talked about psychology books. Who doesn't need psychology? The salesperson needs psychology, the marketeer needs psychology, the teacher needs psychology. Everyone needs psychology today. Psychology is permeating everything. So if you have access, if you are reading, you're widening your horizons, then definitely you are building your base of knowledge. Recently, not so recently, but this is something we've come to find is that for example, stories and novels, and reading those novels and stories increases your analytical and reasoning skills. And for example, for kids, the best way to open up their imagination and their horizons and their reasoning skills is to have them read, not to do mathematical exercises, but to read books, to read fiction books, to read science fiction books, to read anything which is, it's not about rehearsing and drilling the math exercises. This is
Yeah,
fascinating to me, like how you can improve
definitely.
your mathematical, you can improve the mathematics grades for your kid by allowing them to read other things other than mathematics.
Yeah,
This is
yeah, yeah. So our mind actually, so I always say, if you're struggling, for instance, if you're struggling to do something and you're worried, your worries will only increase your worries, right? Your struggle will only increase. Now, if you take a step back and start analyzing, why am I struggling?
mm,
Once you start appreciating that, and why am I struggling, then you will find a solution. For instance, just to give you an example, I'm not good in numbers. And there are people who are not. There's a terminology for such people. I don't remember the terminology, but if you give me something to add or subtract or something, I won't be able to do it. Like I'll be struggling. But I grew to a very, very senior most position in my careers. So without looking at numbers, without looking at balance sheets and expense reports, how would you do that? Like I was required to do that, and
mm.
I knew that I'm not good at numbers. So and instead of struggling, I just took help from my accountant. Said, when you come to me with these sheets, you need to explain me everything,
Mm.
and
Right.
and then I will be able to like catch up. Why have we arrived to this number? I need to know that right before I sign it, because that's my fiduciary responsibility or duty.
Right.
So I appreciated what I did not know or I could not do. So I stopped struggling. I mean, I had a support. This he would come and he would explain me exactly, and I would ask questions and then sign it. So this and every human has these capabilities. Not everyone will be able to learn everything, but we all can learn, and this is one of the greatest reward that Allah has given us as humans, is that we have emotions, right? Uh, we can learn, and we can improve upon things. If you compare
Absolutely.
ourselves with animals, they don't have those capabilities. So use those capabilities.
Exactly, exactly. We have VM saying, "Hey, Doctor and Mr. Hamad, I'm very happy for episode 111." Okay, great. And
Awesome.
then Umama, nice to have you in here. Umama is saying, "Good evening to you, Doctor, and your guests." Thank you very much, Umama. Thank you, everyone. So, if you have questions for my guest, Mr. Hamad, please, by all means, go ahead. What do you want us to talk about? What is one question you have that's going to help you wherever you are right now in your journey, in your career journey? Meanwhile, take us on to which one is it? This would be number 4, Hamed. What is the fourth thing? So the one just mentioned by Hamed is that if you are not good at something, don't focus on it. Instead, try to see how can you do something else that's going to help you with it. Don't like focus on the absence of this, and instead try to look for this. So it's literally what we are talking about is don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. Basically, this
Yeah.
is we are saying. Hamid, take us to number 4. What do you wish somebody told you when you started your career?
Yeah. So I think something that I did not realize at the beginning of my career is that success is subjective. My success is different and your success is different.
True.
We may be in the same profession, we may be the same age group, we may be living the same demography, we may be working in the same organization, but success for me would have different meanings, and success for you would have different meanings. Um, something that we all should appreciate. Like, it's like liking and disliking. I mean, if if you take food, for instance, some people like Chinese food, some people like Mediterranean food. So your liking and disliking and your success is different from somebody else's success. So instead of following somebody else's success, craft your own pathway to success. Whatever you think is best for you. And if you don't know what is best for you, have a mentor. Have a mentor like Dr. Nabila on your talk to her, engage her. Things, because mentors often, and this is the sixth thing that I would say. I was lucky that I had a mentor, uh, not at very early age, but when I was almost 24, 25, yeah, I had a mentor who really helped me in growing myself in a job. When I was working with British government, I had a great mentor, Tariq Ibad. He passed away a couple of years ago. But he was the one who really taught me so much into like professional career. So having a mentor is absolute essential. And of course, my success is different and somebody else's success is different. I mean, we all try to follow people. Like, one of my colleagues, he bought a new Mercedes, for instance. I want that Mercedes. I mean, okay. Now, if you ask me, I don't like Mercedes. Hamas Siddiqui doesn't like Mercedes. I'm more of a Honda or a Toyota guy, right? Have a big SUV, but have a Honda or Toyota. I don't like. So the point is why? Because I think it's more practical. Having a Toyota is more practical than having a Mercedes.
True.
Um, so for me, it's not success that if he bought a Mercedes, I would go for a Toyota. So just give you an example. And the other thing is, if you could have a mentor at an earliest possible space in your career, then you will see your career is going to grow very, very fast, very, very fast. So Shumail Malik is joining in from Dubai. He's one of my I would call him a student, yeah.
Yeah,
So
there
yeah,
you have the mentorship continues. Hello, Mohammed Shamil, Malik, Basha. Hello, hello.
yeah.
Hello, Mr. Hamad. So there you have it. So when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yeah, no,
Good
he's
to see you,
amazing. He's an engineer.
Mohammed Shamil.
Yeah,
Sorry?
he's an engineer. He works with the Abu Dhabi Water Authority, I think, and he is the
Diwa, do
one
you
who.
work at Diwa, Mohammed Shamil? The Department of Electricity and Water.
Yeah,
Amazing. So I love this. Number four, Mr. Hamad just gave us very good examples about the Mercedes and the Toyota, which is a very good example. There's nothing wrong with the Toyota or nothing wrong with the Mercedes. Whichever means success for you, go for it.
yeah,
This is my thing. Like, let nobody define success for you. And for that, there is a little bit of um, I would say fear that you have to go through, in the sense that you have to figure out what is it that you want. And even if nobody wants what you want, it's okay. Be the first to go after that dream, that goal. You may want to be the first scientist in your family. You may want to be the first astronaut in your tribe. You may want to be the first solopreneur or entrepreneur. You don't want the whatever it is that you want. This needs a little bit of courage and soul searching in order to find that purpose, that thing that drives us, that surging desire that's going to make you, that's going to keep you on fire, on your toes. You don't know why you are waking up early in the morning. I'm working towards my goal, I'm working towards my dream. That fire, you need to find it, because if you don't find it, you will settle. You'll settle, you'll be doing stuff that everybody says you should be doing, and there is no, purpose in it. So find your definition of success and pursue it. Take us to number 5, Hamed.
yeah. And you just used the word that I wanted to use, purpose. I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't have any purpose in your life, then it's like, okay, I'm here and I'm doing things, but there has to be a purpose that I should realize. And maybe right at the beginning of our professional career, we don't have that purpose that clear in our mind, right? But try to do something which is a little bit different from others, right? We all are different. Like, we're not, I mean, our genetically we are different. Our thumb impressions do not match. Our intelligence levels are different. So God has made that us that way, right? We are different. So try to do things that others are not doing. And I just give like a little example to everyone that comes to me and become part of my training programs is, okay, think about it. For instance, Shama is an engineer in water, and he works on sustainability on that, all that. If he starts sharing that knowledge on LinkedIn, for instance, on TikTok, for instance, he is different. He is different because, I know maybe a couple of hundred engineers who don't do that, right? Maybe
True.
in his own community of engineers, nobody does that, right? So you're different because you're trying to help someone learn something through your knowledge. That could be one of the greatest purposes you could have in your life. Um, I mean, Dr. Nabila, as soon as I mean, I've been a teacher and a mentor right from the very beginning. When I knew a little bit of something, I would still try to coach. Like, okay, this is what I learned. This is how it can be done.
Mm.
And the pleasure that you draw by coaching or teaching someone do something, the value that you can add into someone's life is priceless. Like, you only wait for a reward coming from Allah. As simple as that.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
the purpose. Yeah, that's the purpose we all can have, literally. Like, even when you're in your school, start teaching someone who doesn't have that knowledge. Help someone learn mathematics. Like someone like me who cannot count properly, help me learn something. And you will actually feel, I mean, uh, the pleasure that you would feel by teaching someone and adding value to someone's life is just unexplainable. I mean, I can't explain when somebody tells me, Hamad, I took your program and I learned that this is what has happened. And just to continue on this one, because I think this is going to inspire a lot of our audience.
Before you can do that, Hamad, let's take this very
Mhm.
interesting comment here. Unfortunately, I can't read your name for some reason, but he says, "Thanks for sharing, Dr. Nabila. Conformance and success are not the same thing at all. Not the same thing. Conform. Don't leave it. The opposite of courage is conformity. Don't conform. God created you unique. Why would you want to conform? There are no replicas in this world. You are not. This is not the cookie cutter place. You are so unique. And if you knew what you are capable of doing, you would literally astonish yourself. This is Emerson saying this. So, success has to be defined, albeit after a good self analysis and introspection by each individual. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at fear in the eyes and just go and have your own definition of success. There's absolutely nothing right or wrong about this. You can't miss it. You can't have it wrong. Your definition of success is meant to be the right one. Your definition, your interpretation is so good. Noura, hello, hello, good to see you in here. Shamil, I have attended Doctor's 3 live sessions before. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Mohammed Shamil, Malik Besha. I love this name. Love her sessions. Thank you so much. And I'm delighted to know you are Hamad's student. Wow. Hallelujah. Hamad,
Yeah,
take us.
and he's going to meet me in Dubai. So I'll be going to Dubai in October. So he's going to come and meet me in Dubai. So he's in Abu Dhabi, but he'll drive down. But just to continue what you just discussed based on this comment, I mean, I can't see the name as well. Um, You see, a lot of times we struggle with what we all know, by the way, is something called self-limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do a lot of self-analysis, then we are just stuck in that rut, right? We are just, I mean, I started a program just to help poor students learn something, literally with zero money. Like I had no money. Like, it was just a concept. I wanted to do it. People came together. In last 1 year, we have sort of provided that training to over 1,300 students.
Wow,
Yeah,
impressive.
and they didn't have to pay anything. I mean, the money came. The point is that if we don't take initiatives, and that's my seventh point here, you have to take initiative. A lot of times we don't take initiative because we're stuck in our self-limiting beliefs. We can't do that. And if you can't do that, then find a solution, because that's the leadership thing, right? If you take initiative and if you could find a solution, then you are contributing in the community. Then the reward will come. And if we don't invest anything into a bank account and don't put anything into a bank account, we're not going to get anything out of it, right? You will have a bank account, but that bank account is going to be empty. So add those valuable things, your contribution, your initiatives into that bank account, and then convert it. So self-limiting belief, doctor, is probably one of the biggest hurdles that we have in uh, in the in the pathway to growth. Uh, what do you think about it? I mean, I personally feel that's really bad.
Absolutely. It's paralysis by analysis. It's you are in that loop, oh, reasoning, because we have to say the school system has taught use your mind, your reasoning. And yes, we use our mind, but we also have imagination. And why has God created us with this amazing mental faculty of imagination? Because we want to create. We are the only species, as far as we know, who is creating, who has created the civilization, who's created everything from this to the pen to the chair we are sitting on. Everything, it came out of the mind of somebody who
Yeah.
imagined it first. Yet we go to school and we try to structure people's mind into reasoning and logic only. As Einstein says, logic can take you from A to B, imagination takes you everywhere. So we need to allow people and kids and young engineers to imagine, to go beyond the limits of what has already been done. So if you are in that analysis, oh, I want to become, for example, this, but I don't see anybody who has done it before, be the first one. This is the way of courage versus the way of conformity. But if you get stuck in paralysis by analysis, because you have these beliefs, oh, what if I fail, what will people say about me, what if my family don't approve of me, if la la la. So that's the way of conformity. Is not going to take you anywhere. It's going to take years from your life. Since we are talking about what do we wish somebody, I wish somebody told me, it's okay, it's okay to go out there and do the stuff that you want to do. It's okay to fail, but you eventually will find your way. Instead of repeating things year in, year out, year in, year out, repeating the same thing, same loop, doing the same thing, getting the same results, not feeling happy, yet you are doing it. Break the cycle, break the cycle, break the cycle of paralysis by analysis, and go into asking yourself, if I had absolutely, and Hamed was talking about self limiting beliefs, if I had absolutely there's absolutely no limitations on my mind or what I can do, not money, not what people say, not what would I want to do, and allow yourself to go there. It's scary, but allow yourself to go there. Remember Joseph Campbell, he says, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you desire. That thing you want, you crave, is exactly inside the cave that you are craving. Hamed, to you, number 7, please help us with.
Yeah. So I made a little notes as well. I think it's very important for us to able to able to articulate things, right? And you only can articulate things if you take a step back and like take a holistic picture. And I'll tell you a story. When I was with the British government, we had a security officer, and he was a very good friend of mine. So I like to hear like these interesting stories of like crime and stuff. This is what we did travel. So he said, so he was taught like at a crime scene, if it's a suicide or a homicide or whatever, if you have to see everywhere, like if you literally have to see the whole picture, you,
Mm.
you have to lie down on the floor. You have to lie down on the floor. Very important point. And then look around. Lie down on the floor and then look around. That will give you the best focus. So you're focusing on the
Wow,
roof, you're focusing on the balls, you're focusing everywhere. And
I
this
love
is an
it.
amazing lesson, right? If you
Yeah.
really want to know what's happening around you, you don't have to do anything. Just
Hmm.
observe. Just
And
observe.
then
Yeah,
allow yourself to receive the
yeah,
information, and that
exactly.
everything will come to you when you are in a state of receivership.
Oh, yeah.
Everything will, you don't have to chase anything. You just have to allow to download from.
Yeah, we don't know from where it will be downloaded, but it happens, right? Now, how
Yeah,
many times, simple, how many times you like to eat something and you end up eating it, your mom is cooking it, your wife is cooking it, or you go to a restaurant, you get it. And it's just imagination at most of the time, your manifestation, right? And
yeah.
manifestation is actually then it converts into receiving things. You start receiving. So give yourself an opportunity to start receiving, as you rightly said, Dr. Nabila, and observe what is happening. In my program there is a complete section on creation, like how do you create content, and a lot of people struggle. A lot of people really struggle, uh, and literally I tell them, okay, all these stories, all that content is all around you, all
True.
around you. Now, literally, if somebody takes this podcast and chops this podcast into 50 different pieces of content, can be done, right? We've already been speaking for 37 minutes. Literally every 2 minutes is just one post, right? It is so simple. The 10, 15 points, whatever we're discussing, you just take those and just if you simply share those, even that's content. Now,
Absolutely.
it comes with observation, it comes with reading. So my next point is start reading.
Hmm.
Honestly, reading and writing, these are two things that I found the best two tools for me to learn, me to relax, and me to kind of create something new of it. Because every time of course, I read purposefully, because purpose is one thing that we discussed already. Um, if I'm reading purposefully something, I will be able to like extract that information. It's something that would struck in my head by reading one sentence, and I can then utilize that concept into my training, into my own business that I have. If I'm just reading, like people like to read fiction. I have no problem with that. Um, but just reading fiction, is it going to help? If it helps, that it's okay. Go ahead and do that. I don't read fiction.
Hmm.
Now you talked about psychology. It's a subject that I really want to learn. I want to learn how people behave and why they behave in a certain situation in a certain manner. And my main focus is content,
Right.
because I really want to create content that resonates to people. And so far, I haven't been able to find a book that actually can help me. I've asked few people. Hopefully, someone will provide me some guidelines. But my younger daughter is actually studying psychology.
Oh, you
She's
have the
in
best source then.
Right. So she's in the third year of psychology at
She's
University of
going to be
Toronto.
your teacher.
Yeah. So I asked her a few questions. And she tells me a few things like how people think, behave, and kind of react to things. Uh, so literally, my 8 point is, don't be ashamed of learning. Like you can learn from your kids, you can learn from a stranger, but read, observe, listen. God has given you all these kind of, this is kind of rewards that you have, all these instincts that God has given you. Use those instincts. You are human. I mean, we know we are ashraful makhluqat because we are human, right? So just use that uh, amazing gift that God has given you. Learn, read, listen, observe, and implement.
There has never been a time where learning is easier than the time where we are in, where information is readily available. There's no longer like shortage. In the past, when we used to study, it was like studying means access to information. Today we are not talking about information. Literally everyone is having all kinds of information from their device, and I guess everybody is having a device, even kids, however we agree with it or not, but everybody is having this device, and this is literally a window or a door or multiple doors or gates to unlimited information. So information is no longer the issue. It's about today, I think it's all about implementation of the information and repurposing the information. How are you interacting with this information to make something more meaningful, or something that is your own interpretation of what you read? This is repurposing. We are all drawing from the same origin. We are all drawing from this unadulterated light that is going to and through us, that's permeating everything that God is equally giving to everyone. What do we do with it is a different story. Some people decide to do a negative story, to repeat the story 25 years and call themselves victims and so on. So it's what you do with the information that is going to change your destiny, that is going to change your career. So how do you want to direct your career? What is the direction you want to give to your career? And go and learn, as Hamadi has been saying, have access, read, write, share, teach somebody. LinkedIn, in and by itself, is an absolutely incredible tool with its 900 plus million users, and it's more than 60 plus companies readily in there. You have an open source to anything, to changing careers, to moving, to shifting, to pivoting, to upgrading, to making a quant, whatever you want. These resources were not available to us, meaning Hamed and I, when we were at university.
Yeah.
We did not have access. I mean, if you could have access to a couple of books or something, we would be lucky. I used to travel all the way to London, to Reading University in specific, to finish my PhD. Today, who needs to move anywhere? Everything is readily available. So use it. We are living in the best, I think, age ever when it comes to information. So how
Yeah.
you are going to use it is what makes the difference. What do
Right.
you want to do? What kind of story do you want to tell the world about you, your passage in this life,
Yeah.
and your career and your impact and your legacy you want to leave behind? Take us to nine, Hamid. Take us to
Okay.
nine.
Okay. So Muhammad Tariq is also one of my course participant. He wanted me to give you an opportunity to speak. So Tariq, you have now seen Dr. Nabila
There you have
has
it.
shared. Yeah, but technically speaking, she wanted me to come and talk to people. So she's
Exactly.
giving me
He's
the
my guest. He is.
opportunity to share. But
Yeah.
it's a conversation. It's a conversation. But if you have any question, by the way, anyone who has joined us, if you have any specific question, please share. We will probably continue for
Your
another 10 minutes.
questions or anything at all. We
Yeah,
are so
yeah.
excited. We have way past the time, but this is so exciting. So Hamed, take us to number
Yeah.
nine.
Uh,
Ooh,
I uh, I always wanted to say take risks.
Mm.
If I mean, when we are, particularly when we are at jobs, we think that we have to like play safe, yeah, because
Yeah,
there will be other people who may feel offended and stuff like that. I always took risk in my at my jobs, right? And the risks are simple. Sometimes you're taking a new initiative is a risk as well, right? Because somebody may not like it. But organizations need people who have leadership capabilities, and taking initiative is perhaps one of the best leadership capability one could have. I mean, you take initiative when you can think, you can articulate, you have will to grow, you really want to do something differently, you want to add value, all these things, right? That's the recipe that actually drives us to take initiative. And honestly speaking, whenever I took an initiative, initially it was a risk, and but it paid off. It paid off. Like, quitting my full-time jobs and starting my business as a coach and a mentor, starting this LinkedIn coaching solopreneurship training program. I mean, you have been part of this journey, Dr. Nabila, for almost more than a year now. You have seen, I mean, I'm growing every day. Literally, I'm growing every day. My community is growing, and kind of I'm making money, to be very honest. And I'm making money, that's why I'm continuing as well. And every day is a new day, right? And you
yeah,
face failures, no problem, right? Failures will help you learn, fix, and do things in a better manner, and then you will be successful. I mean, one of the examples that I gave, if you want to start losing weight, you don't start losing weight on your first day, first week, first month. It takes time. You have to be consistent, you have to be strategic in your approach, you have to eat proper, walk, exercise, do whatever is required to be done, and then you will start losing weight.
yeah.
So don't get scared. Don't be afraid of taking that risk in your life. That one initiative can transform your life completely. It has done for me. It has done for many other people. If it's
Absolutely.
kind of it's there, right? It's empirical evidence that people who have taken risk and taken initiatives have done wonders. Why don't you take risks? Take risks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Taking risk is, you're going to need to have a bite at bravery. You're going to
Yeah.
need to have a bite at bravery for you to get nothing is coming from the wavering heart and the shaky hands. You're going to need to take something and run with it, and if it doesn't work, take a u-turn and go back. I always tell them there's nothing terminal, there's nothing, oh my god, I failed and that's it. You failed, go back, square one, and start all over again. And no pain no gain. You're gonna need to provide service first, you're gonna need to give first, you're gonna need to put in some skin in the game first for you to start getting the rewards, for you to start getting the money in the bank account, the accolades at work, the recognition in your job, everything. And this leaves us with number 10, Hamad. Take us to number 10. Some LinkedIn user couldn't agree more. Hamad Siddiqui, an initiative is one third analysis and two-third leap in the dark, a leap of faith. A student of mine this morning said she gave us wings to fly. So you take a leap of faith, and then you will grow wings on the go, you know. So one should not get stuck in the analysis paralysis, like Dr. Nabila said, mentioned earlier. Taking calculated risk is extremely important. In fact, but this is me. I have something against the calculated risk. The bigger the risk, it needs to be calculated. Of course, you've done your due diligence, but with the resources that you have right now. Some people say, oh, I need to wait because I don't have all the information. And they wait and wait and wait to be ready until they are stuck in readiness. Don't get stuck in paralysis by analysis and in getting ready. A decision is taken with everything you've got right now, at this point in time, and then you course correct on the go.
Yeah.
So the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. I guarantee you. Like the bigger the risk, the more freedom that's waiting for you on the other side. What say you, Hamid? Yalla,
Yeah.
tell us.
So I'll just continue on this one that you just said actually. Um, so starting minimalistically is what we always. This is what I always teach. Whatever resources you have, just use those resources and kind of build whatever you want to build based on those resources. I'm actually mentoring one startup here in Canada, and it's an AI based content startup that is that's creating something a SaaS product. Um, um, I was mentoring them first, and they said, "Okay, you come as a co-founder because you're kind of helping us a lot in it." And they were really thinking, "Okay, we'll add this, we'll add that, we'll do, before this much like capabilities, we're not going to market it." And I said, I think you need to start thinking, okay, what are the minimum basic requirement in the market? And there is a larger community that actually has those basic minimum requirements, and you can quickly launch it. Timing is everything. If you're
Yeah,
not quickly doing it, somebody else will do it.
true,
So do it, do it minimalistically, and then have those users tell you what needs to be fixed in it,
true.
and they're game. So hopefully within the next 45 days, the minimum product will be launched.
Yeah.
Because but otherwise they were thinking like, we should do this, that, and
More
if
and
you do
more.
that in 6 months, you're not going to launch it, right?
I always tell my students, jump before you're ready. Get started. Because
Yeah,
get started is where the majority of people get
yeah,
stuck. They
yeah,
don't get started. So jump before you're ready. And number 10,
yeah.
Hamad,
Number
where
10
do you take
is
us?
volunteer. Is volunteer.
Volunteer. I love it.
Volunteer. We don't volunteer. I mean, a lot
Enough.
of us don't. I mean, obviously, a lot of us don't, and we think it's somebody else's job to volunteer. It's everybody's job to volunteer. You can literally, remove a stone and from your way, and you're volunteering, right?
True.
You're helping someone learn something, you're volunteering. You're giving your time to someone, you're volunteering. And I will just kind of build on that. There was a research done by, I don't remember whether it was Deloitte or EY, one of the big fours. They
Mm,
reached out to several CEOs and asked this question: if you have two candidates for a job, both are okay candidates, like they meet the minimum requirement. One is less experienced but has volunteered. The other one is highly experienced but never volunteered. Who would
mm,
you pick for the job? And most of them have said that someone who has volunteered.
yeah.
And you know what is the real, what is important to understand? He would be picked because he actually was selfless. Volunteering is selfless, and leaders have to be selfless as well. That's the
True.
one of the best leadership trait anyone could have. Volunteer. So start volunteering, and you will see the rewards.
Absolutely, absolutely. This universe works by divine order. It's
Yeah,
giving first, receiving later. And the majority is about me, give me, give me, give me. Where is my share, my share, my share? And actually, if you just relax and don't breach the laws of one of the laws of the universe is the law of giving. So give. What is it you can give to, as you said, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be monetary, doesn't have to be, it's giving a piece of yourself, it's giving something, it's the thinking about giving before receiving. And I love how we finish this these 10 things that can accelerate your career, because I, for one, and I think Hamad would agree with me. We wish somebody told us these things when we were younger, because we learn these things experientially by trying and experimenting and trying and failing and going back and everything. But there you have it, the 10 of them. If you go back, you are going to see 10 absolutely incredible takeaways that if you apply just this last piece of giving before receiving, of paying it forward before receiving the reward, this can serve your career so well. Try it. Try tomorrow. Just go to work and see somebody struggling with something, a colleague or something, and try to help him or try to help her and see what happens. This, as I said, is a word or universe that works by divine, or there's absolutely nothing by accident. You're going to see things returning. Energy always goes back to source. You see yourself rewarded in multiple ways. Hamed, final words and final say. What say you, my friend?
I think if you could take a step back, wherever you are in whatever stage, senior, junior, struggling, not so struggling, and try to analyze what's happening with you and why is it happening with you, you would be able to find a solution. If not, find someone, a help that could help you find that solution. And often we can't do everything ourselves, so find that help, right? And eliminate self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
God has given us, I will repeat, immense powers. We are Ashraful Makhluqat. God has given us everything that people could not even dream of. Like our powers, I mean, we don't know about how much powers we have. You know, articulation, thinking, creating, all those qualities that God has God has given us those qualities. So become God's representative on this earth. As simple as that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it how we are finishing the session. I can't thank you enough, Hamed, for availing this time all the way from Canada, talking to us regarding your 10 takeaways. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have questions, Hamed, you know where to find him. He is on LinkedIn with Career Guru and all the other resources he has for you. Go check him out. You will find an absolutely amazing profile, resources, community to join. He is out there. So thank you so much, Hamed.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
you.
Thank you very much. I have to jump off because somebody else is waiting for me on another podcast.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I really appreciate your efforts in putting these things together. Keep helping the community, and that's the only way we will be able to keep growing as well. So thank you very much. Bye for now.
Absolutely. Take good care, everyone. And until I see you next time, here's Dr. Nabila Vieb. Bye bye.